nice of him to come on a day where he's playing. But the defending national champs are back in action tonight, and we get a chance to chat with Jay Wright. Jay, welcome. How are you?
Hey, Mike, how are you, buddy?
Good, thank you. You ready for it? Has it come fast or has it come slow? You've been waiting for it, or is it now just is the offseason been a blur because you're coming off a championship?
The offseason is always a blur, but yeah, coming off this season, it definitely has been. And we moved the start time up this year. You know, usually we start on this Friday, but we're able to start the first Tuesday this year. So this is the earliest we've ever started. Right. But we like that, man. We like to get to the games. So we're fired up.
How was it different this year, Jay? First of all, did you get a chance to just step back and realize how terrific your team was and how high a level they played in this tournament? I mean, your team played brilliantly throughout this tournament.
We did, Mike. You know, when you're in it, you don't think about that. But when the season's over, and especially when you start the next season, you start doing the preseason shows and people start hitting you with the numbers, you know, the most three-pointers ever made in a college basketball season, most wins over the last 4 years or something in college basketball history, stuff like that. When they start hitting you with that stuff, and you start working with a new team, and you've lost those guys, you realize how good that team was, you know, and it was different than after 16 too. The off season was different. We slowed it down a little bit. We didn't do as many of the kind of responsibilities that you have after winning a championship. We made sure we concentrate on the new guys that are coming in. And so it was a different offseason. We did get to actually relax. Between the 16-17 season, I don't think I did a good job of that as a leader. I thought we tried to do everything. The seasons just ran into each other, and we were exhausted by the end of the 17 season.
You know, that second championship really stamps you. You know, I know you're not a guy who dwells on this stuff, but winning that second championship really separates you. I mean, anyone can win a championship. When you win two championships and do it in such short time, I mean, that's an impressive run. And your team has been ranked no worse than sixth at any time in the last 6 years, which is a remarkable achievement. I mean, it really is. You've had an incredible run there the last 6 years.
Thanks, Mike. As you know, I mean, we've been very blessed with, 5 straight years of veteran players that have stuck around. You know, it went back to Daniel Chefu before the 16 season. He could have left early after the 15 season. He came back, and then Josh Hart could have left early after the 16 season. He came back, and then Bridges and Jalen Brunson could have left after the 17 season. They came back, and so we were really blessed with having veteran guys and great young guys. It was interesting. After we won in 16, everybody was making the point that we were the first team to win a national championship without an NBA draft choice. But it turned out that Arcidiacono and Ochefa were not draft choices, but both of them played in the NBA the next year. And then on that team was Bridges, who became a draft choice, was DiVincenzo, who became a draft choice, yep. And Brunson, who became a draft choice, and Josh Hart, who became a first-round draft. They were just young, but we did have great players on that 16 team. And that's what does it, man. When you have great players, that's when you win. And
DiVincenzo's doing great. He's having a great start. Bucks are doing great. He's doing great. I've been watching him. He's doing a great job. He really is.
Yeah, that's a fun team, man.
It really is. It's a heck of a team. Yeah.
I follow the NBA more as a fan. I'm a Philly guy. I follow Sixers, and I watch our guys. So I don't know. Did you think Milwaukee was going to be like that this year?
I thought they'd be better, but not this good. But I tell you, the Freak has become such a good player. He's unbelievable. I mean, he's the top 5 player in the league now, that guy.
Yeah. Their series with Boston last year showed me, all right, they're good. But I didn't – I'm looking at this team this year, and Man, they could. I think they could contend with the Celtics. I really do.
I agree. And I'll tell you, he's getting good minutes though for a first-year player. He's been in the end of games. They give him a lot of responsibility. He's filling up the box score. He's getting rebounds. He's getting assists. I mean, he's doing a good job.
He really is. Dante's kind of wise beyond his years. I mean, he redshirted his freshman year because he broke his foot, and he actually never started for us. But he's always was a mature player, and Mike Budenholzer has said to me, he's texted me during the year, he's like, wow, man, he's made such a difference for us because even though he's young, he plays like an older player. And it's really helped us because even, we got a rookie in there, but he plays maturely. He handles himself like a veteran with his work ethic, his diet, his attention to detail. And they got a lot of other good pieces.
Yep.
And he's coming off the bench as a rookie, but he's really playing like a veteran.
Good for him. Now this team, you got Pascal, who was an unsung hero last year. The guy was great.
Yeah.
I mean, he won games for you. And you got Booth, who can be an incredibly explosive player. So now it's their time. And then you got the kid from Albany, right? Is he a bomber? Is he a three-point bomber? The guy from Albany?
Yeah. He had a facial injury, so he's been out for 2 weeks. But he's got a mask on. Well, tonight will be his first night that he's cleared to go. But he's going to be able to help us as a veteran player who's got some experience. And Pascal and Booth, I think, can be, two of the best players in college basketball.
No question. Booth's always had a lot of ability.
Yeah, I mean, both of them have been on 2 national championship teams.
Yep.
Pascal was sitting out that year, but practicing with us all year. Booth was the leading scorer in the championship game. So as a freshman, or as a sophomore, but he has seen it all in college basketball. So we got some good young pieces. We got a lot of depth, but we got to we got to kind of separate. Those 2 are elite, and then we've got about 9 guys between. We have no juniors. 9 guys that are good. Gillespie played last year. Tamir Cosby-Roundtree played last year.
And Sam Rolls, right? Sam Rolls played. Yeah.
So, and the freshmen. So all those guys are kind of in a pack. We got to get some of them to separate as the season goes on.
Now, no mercy for you. We're talking with Jay Wright, the defending national champion, as they open up the season tonight. They still picked you to win the Big East, so they weren't going to let you get away. So they picked you still to win the Big East this year. What do you think of the Big East? Now, it's a little different conference this year. Obviously, different teams. Teams going to get a step back. Creighton's going to take a little step back. Xavier's going to take a little step back. But St. John's could have a good year, as a matter of fact.
I agree. I think that you have teams that were young last year, like St. John's and Georgetown, that are become more experienced and are going to be really good. And I think you have some teams that were experienced that lost some guys like Providence and Xavier and Creighton and us, who bring in some good pieces. So we're younger, but it might take us some time. I think the league is up for grabs more than it's ever been. Marquette was young last year, and they've got some guys coming back. So I know when we had to pick, you can't vote for ourselves. So you pick in the preseason poll, and I know we were just like, what the hell, man? It could be Marquette, it could be St. John's, it could be Georgetown. We didn't know what to do. I think that's what everybody else was doing too, and they figured, all right, let's just throw Villanova up there. We pick them every other year. Let's just throw them up there. It'll be safe. So I really think it's going to be as evenly matched as it has ever been. But what's going to be important is that we all get to a certain level which is possible, that we could get 7, 8 teams in, as opposed to, we all don't elevate ourselves to the point maybe where we get 3 teams in, 3 or 4. We have the parity. How good are we going to get by the end of the season? Is
it a different year? Does it feel like a different year? Does it feel like a respite? You've had a lot of pressure to win the last couple of years. You had 30-win teams every year. A lot was expected. You won 1 championship, to come back, win another championship. To not have that pressure when the season starts this year, does that make, and have such a young team, does that make it a different challenge, to make it fun for a change to have a different team like that this year?
Yeah, it is definitely different, Mike. Like, going to 16, we knew we had a really good team. We were ranked early. We had a chance to win a national championship coming after 16, 17. We were number one seed going to that tournament in 17. So you knew you had a good team coming back in 18. So whereas this year, everyone's just like, oh, poor Villanova. They lost 4 guys, And it's
nobody's saying poor Villanova, I promise you.
You're right, actually. Wait, like I said, the Villanova people are saying that. They're saying poor Villanova. Nobody else. You're right. But I don't – it's really weird. I like it better the other way. I like it when you know you have a good team and you got the pressure on you. So I don't want to say it's more fun this way. That's fun. But it's definitely a different challenge. And it's I guess refreshing would be the word, Mike. If you just, like we're starting off tonight, we're playing Morgan State. I know I got 2 guys. I know what they're going to do. The other 9, we're going to play 11. I don't know what they're going to do tonight. We had a scrimmage against North Carolina at home where we looked really good. We had a scrimmage at Virginia where we didn't look as good, and I just think that's where we're going to be early in the season. And that's a challenge as a coach. I can't get caught up in being frustrated if we're not where we were the last 2 years, but I still got to demand as much of them as possible to get them to be their best.
Yeah, but here's what you've become. And that you've replaced – Calhoun did this in this league, and it's an amazing achievement to do it at Villanova. You've become one of the dynasties in college basketball. You rank right now with Kentucky, with Duke, with and you're looked at like that, and that's when you can get a program to that level, that's an incredible achievement. So you should be very proud of that because that's how you're looked at now. You're looked at how, you got people voting for you number 1 this year preseason. They gave you got a first-place vote.
Well, that's an honor. That means a lot from you. I know you follow this. I know when the years when we were down, you were telling me, hey, man, you break it out the second round, you're going to be in trouble. So you tell it like it is. So it's an honor to be mentioned with those teams. You've
earned that, though. You've earned to be put up there with the titans of the sport. You guys have been ranked. As a matter of fact, you've been the best team in college basketball for the last 6 years. You've been the most successful team in the country for 6 straight years, which is an incredible. You broke records for wins. You won 2 national championships. You have owned college basketball for the last 5 or 6 years.
We have a hell of a run, and it's all about all the programs you named. It's about consistency, It's about what do you do in the years like this year, when, you lose 4 guys in the NBA. Those guys that you mentioned, they lose guys like that, and they come back, and they find a way. It might not be their national championship team, but they're knocking on the door, and that's what part of this run is about. I feel very lucky to be a part of it. It's really fun. We're going to get tested really early. We got Morgan State we're opening up tonight.
Yep.
Got a lot of talent. We got Quinnipiac coming in here, our former assistant.
Yeah, well, he's there. He's there. Pecora's at Quinnipiac. Yeah, he just sent me a whole bunch of Quinnipiac stuff. He just sent me a whole bunch of jerseys and stuff from Quinnipiac for my kids.
I love it, man. He's the best. Nobody knows more what we do than Tom Pecora and Baker Dunleavy. Those guys,
that's right.
They will have us on lockdown Saturday night. And they've put together a hell of a team, man.
Well, it's nice of you to play them, too, which is very nice of you to remember and take care of your guys and play them. Because you know what? Having you on a schedule is a big deal. You know that?
We'll see. We'll see how nice that is Saturday night.
Well, that's a big deal for them. It is.
We got Michigan coming in here, and then we're going at Kansas, and we got our Big 5 game. So we got UConn at the Garden this year, which is going to be awesome. So we're going to get tested early. That's the way we wanted it to be, and then hopefully going into the Big East. I think this is going to be a great year for the Big East, Mike. I really do. Like I said, we have a chance to be a team that a league that kind of eats our young. We could get it to where there's 3 or 4 teams in a tournament where we've had 5 or 6 every year, or we could be a 7-8 league. Have 7-8 teams in if everybody gets to the level they're capable of. And I think Georgetown and St. John's are two of the teams this year that could be at the top, which, as you know, is great for our conference.
You know, it's funny. You know how many kids go over to Villanova from Long Island. You see as much Villanova stuff on Long Island now as you do Yankee stuff. I mean, of course, you guys, you know, as big as you've become, and you know how many kids go to school there from here. So it's unbelievable. You see Villanova stuff everywhere. Well, listen, nice of you to come on opening day. Good to have you guys back. So congratulations on all your success and good luck this year.
Thanks, Mike. Great talking to you, buddy.
We'll see you at the Garden. Goodbye.
All right, buddy.
Thanks. All right.